I am the one and only Specialist of the Strange. Tune in every week for a new episode to get updates from all my ventures. Movies, music, gaming, and the unknown. There's never a dull moment in my life, and anybody who has bear witness can testify that the second I come in, you know something's up. This is Specialist of the Strange radio show. Now please, welcome your host, Dakota Francis.
Hello, everyone. Been quite a week, hasn't it? I'll go ahead and take this down real quick. Just want to give a few minutes, see all who decides to show up. We're shooting this thing live, so. And I thought, kind of a last minute decision to make this a discussion for my podcast. I think it is something that really should be discussed and should really be put out there. So let's see, Drew's Paranormal Vlog, hello. Mr. Ravenous Wolf, let's see what's on Dakota's cranium. That's dangerous territory, trust me. Oh geez, crisp. Jesus, crisp cramps. Oops. Sorry to hear that. And my sympathies. And I did kind of post out earlier, and those of you who are watching who would maybe like to come on and discuss your thoughts. We're going to make this, I shared it privately with a few friends on my Facebook. Okay. Feel free to share it wherever, your Facebook, Twitter, Instagrams, anywhere. There's something I feel I should probably expand on a little bit that I did earlier this week. Try to be a bit more productive in the desired outcome, so to speak. Okay? So I did post out not too long ago. Like I said, it is a last minute decision. If there's anybody who would like to come on, discuss your thoughts with what I'm talking about tonight, let me know. I'll send out the link. Okay? All right. So, how is everyone? I hope everyone is well. This is, it's on for me. Oh, I knew you weren't going to want to behave. My God. So, I guess we'll get things going. Everyone says they want to show up, but never usually do. So, what is this all about? Pending how well this interaction is during taping, we'll decide whether or not this will move forward as a regular thing. So what is this all about? Well, there's been a number of things that have caught my attention lately. And I'm honestly a little disgusted at it. Now, what am I talking about? On Monday, I put out a little video using my service here because would have just been quicker. Said it's time for a call out. For those of you who haven't seen it, we'll play it for you right now.
Some rather disturbing. Hey, all. I'm recording this message because I've started to notice some rather disturbing behaviors out of numerous individuals. And it's time for a call out. The only thing I'm going to be struggling about this is maintaining a cool head and finding the appropriate place to start. This behavior I've noticed for a few months now. Complete ignorance, childish bullying, racist remarks, disablest remarks, a complete and utter show that these individuals in question have absolutely no clue what they're talking about, are proud to be ignorant, are proud to harass people, and quite frankly, are in this line of work for all the wrong reasons, expecting financial compensation. Many of us are shooting guerrilla style. I am purposely putting this out, and I fully intend on pissing some people off. Those of you who try to come back at me, who try to stir up further issues, will be noted, will be exposed for thousands of people all over the world to see. Now, if you want to have a healthy discussion, I'm more than happy to oblige. And I'm also going to extend an early apology for those who I may have misjudged. Okay? Okay. Where shall I begin? Let's start with the childish harassments of random people online. I've seen several accounts of this. I've seen several individuals create falsified accounts in order to do this. They don't think we notice, and quite frankly, their behaviors show that they are too stupid to even consider it. They much rather be that type of person, spread hateful and racial comments for utterly no reason, and show absolutely no remorse that their actions may push some people who are already on the verge of a mental health breakdown to the point that they attempt to take their own life. I have seen individuals try to utilize false care for individuals who are struggling with certain issues in order to promote their own products. I have seen completely illegal operations continue to run. I have seen individuals who have dared to try to dictate how others should operate. How, they say this is bad, yet they continue to associate with individuals who continue to spread this behavior out of fear that their own channels or their sub counts may take a hit. I've seen people who only care about the numbers popping up, not realizing that none of those subscribers may care about the person, and that the slightest deviation of your content, when you actually try to show that you are not a one-dimensional person, you are in fact a human being, there are many sides to you, they'll disappear. And quite frankly, those of you who think that threatening to unfollow certain people you show that you're not exactly a person worth keeping around in the first place. Okay? Oh, let's see. And quite frankly, I think that a blacklist needs to be put together where this criminal behavior on many accounts is documented, showcased, forwarded to local authorities, and the website given extra special attention to make sure that anybody who tries to be smart and actually research certain individuals they try to work with can have their attention brought to this behavior. Now, I am not taking anyone's side in this before any of you try to assume as such, because once again, you're too stupid to actually, research, dig into what's going on. And let me go into this. There's also those of you who have tried to utilize the gullibility of many individuals who may just legitimately not know the truth about what's going on. You try to manipulate people into your own financial gain, once again committing criminal acts. You show absolutely no remorse for the people you care about, no care, no humanity for the people around you. You try to dictate that you are above them, that you are the boss, that you are the one in charge and everything is belonging to you, okay? When you have been busted stealing from others. There's not one person I'm calling out. There's numerous individuals. Let's see what else. Oh, there's you who have tried to make remarks that I've deviated a little bit from ghost hunting related material, trying to say, oh, sorry, there's no spooks around. Oh, sorry, you're stretching at straws. You're running out of ideas. Well, listen here, you get jackasses. I'm not a one-dimensional person. I have many interests. I'm involved in video game production. I'm involved in books. I've been involved in radio shows more than anything that most of you probably have ever even considered, considering you think that YouTube is going to be your holy grail. There's those of you who have tried to harass some of my looks. Now, I don't mind an occasional joke here and there, but there's many of you who have tried to harass my looks when you yourselves can't even show your actual face. Let me see what else I should go with this. Did I get to the self-promotion utilizing false cares of individuals who are currently struggling? Yeah, let's go with that too. There's also many of you who have tried to get involved in certain situations that I'm involved with because, well, yes, they can be dangerous if the wrong steps are taken. You legitimately don't know what is going on. However, you fail to realize the remarks you made, and the reason why I'm making this comment right now is because I have almost seen someone die because of the spiritual attachments getting aggravated from the audience commentary. Some of you who try to dictate that, oh, you should do this, oh, you should do this, oh, you should stop this, when you affiliate yourself with individuals who continue to harass others, to continue to bully others, because frankly, you're too afraid that your own ventures will be affected because they'll act like complete and utter high school bitches and tell people to leave you alone and tell people to and start harassing you and to trying to reduce your numbers. Subscriber counts really shouldn't matter, especially where YouTube is constantly trying to update their algorithms, admittingly to try to help get rid of spam accounts. Their numbers are never accurate because of the actions they have to take, because people are trying to take financial gain, trying to take advantage of people that may genuinely do not know what's going on. And there may be some of you who see this who legitimately don't know what I'm talking about. And you know what? All right. chances are that means you've done your best to try to stay out of it, and kudos to you. But that's all I'm really going to say for now. Those of you who try coming at me, I'll make sure you get the attention you want.
Let's see. So, a couple of disclaimers about that. I was actually at my day job when I shot that. And I'm bringing this up here because it proves my point. Well, yes, members of us in Parachills have, the focus of the company is paranormal investigations, but we've kind of expanded it to other areas. There's some people who try to point fingers that, oh, hey, Mike, thanks, bro. Subscribe, man. Anyway, there's some that have tried to utilize the fact that we've done media attention to poke holes in what we actually do. You gotta be careful with some people, and I'm not here to criticize that. And there's a number of things I want to expand upon because I thought that maybe it'd be a good time to enhance upon things, make clear where my stance is. All right. Focus you. Hi, Chris. Ooh, evil grin. Mike is. Ooh. This is. Okay, that was a little sketchy, but all right. And I'm just going to say this, that, yeah, the video was partially an event, but I had a few thoughts to try to address some things. And please do feel free to tell me your thoughts on these matters. So I'm going to try to do my best to not to mention any specific names. However, there may be details that might help identify the individuals a little bit clearer in question, which is fully intentional because it's been brought to my attention that they have people stalking channels, recruiting. And these, it's like, yeah, no, that's a little bit more than usual. And where's my thermal? Shit, where am I? Oh, there it is. I think I just saw something moving around on the bed behind me. Hello? Alexa. 6% battery? What the fuck? I just fully charged this thing. What the hell? Anyway, there's a number of things that really need to name names. Naming something takes away its power. Quite true, Mike. Temptation is there, my friend. Temptation is there. So I'm going to also put a little disclaimer that it's been a bit of a tumultuous time right now in my life. As many of you know who are in Parachill circles, we did have a bit of a situation with our CEO. I'm going to end up spoiling, I know, a bit of the purpose of one of the meetings here soon. Some of you are aware, but I'm just going to say this. Chris is doing better. We have information that says that his condition is slowly improving. Which, if by any chance Chris is seeing this, much love to your brother. And I'm blaming you for this. Why? Because okay, we obviously been feeding off each other. Anyway. So there's been a number of individuals who have tried taking advantage of the fact that there's emotional times. And I'm also going to say this. Some of you also know that not too long ago, there was a bit of a health scare involving my grandmother, where she ended up having a heart attack. This is a situation where she recently had leads quite a sketchy life. And, she's not a young woman anymore. So while the heart itself didn't really sustain any damage, when they went in, they discovered that, yes, she does have the early onset of heart disease, which runs through my family. Apparently, both of my grandmother's parents actually died from it. So she's a bit scared right now, enough to where she's going to be. But it's also been brought to my attention that we expected more stints that to need to be put in. We were told that from when this happened. But also, they're not exactly sure whether or not it was from when she fell when this happened. But they've also discovered that there is a bit of a fracture on her spine that will require surgery. Now, unfortunately, because I am in the US, yes, it's still a bit emotionally hard for me with him not around. And because I'm on the board, I was brought up here. I'm just going to put that up on the thing. It was like, trust me, we're all worried. But like I said, we knew it was coming, but we do have enough. He is getting better. We have heard. Okay? But right now, when it comes to Parachills, let's do what we can to keep things going and make him proud. All right? That's all I really got to say about that. There's been individuals who have tried to use this situation with Chris in order to get attention on their own stuff. And now, yes, there are projects we are working with on them, and they're slowly coming along. But honestly, this bothered me because maybe he didn't intend on this, but that tells me that, quite frankly, you don't give a shit. And I'm trying not to assume here, but I'm going to say it. It tells me you genuinely do not give a shit about someone who is important to a lot of people, despite what his head tries to tell him. I've come to think of the guy like a brother, honestly. And yes, while you may have not known during the incident, I had to personally tell you that I'm putting things on pause because we were scared about his well-being. And that had not stopped you. So please, there's a lot of shit going down. There's a lot of people who are hurting right now. And it sounds like it's about to get worse. Really evaluate where you stand. And there's also a competitor company. I will not say their names because, quite frankly, their behavior is even more disgusting. They've bullied people into joining. A lot of their members, who, by the way, if for those of you watching, you might want to address having your so-called company meetings put out on fucking YouTube, because that also IDs how many of you. That identifies your names, faces, and everything you're working on to where you can other people can easily steal, just like the very foundations you were built upon. And I'm going to also say this. Some of these people have admitted in conversation that they have what is known as borderline personality disorder. Something that, unfortunately, due to the fact that I've dated a girl a while back with a similar condition, I know a few things about. It's where you have a tendency, while your mentality is usually brought on by years of abuse. Maybe it was situations you dealt with as a child. Maybe it was an abusive partner at some point. Unfortunately, that's something that's happening a lot more, to where it's happening to where I've seen young girls purposely try to get themselves, try to use the claim of a polyamorous relationship in order to try to keep their attention, keep their stake on certain individuals they want to date. Now, I'm not here to judge what you decide to do in your relationships, but for God's sakes, when it comes to a situation where you start accusing each other of cheating even though you're sleeping around with other people, when it comes to a situation where you are essentially poisoning yourself with paranoia, something needs to be done. Why would you want to put yourself in that position? What does polyamory? The short version, Amora, is that they like to date a lot of people at once. The situation is usually consensual, at least you would hope, but it's not always the case. So anyway, there's a number of people who are already racked up in the head because they dealt with abuse. And some of you have actually disclosed that this is your situation, and also admitted that your motivations were the fact that you saw that something attacked you. The thing is with borderline personalities is that they have a tendency to think it's all about them. Okay? And in a way, it's not their fault, but really seek psychiatric help. Because when you're dealing in a confrontation with someone who's a borderline personality, you're not dealing with a logical thinking adult. You're dealing with someone whose mentality is the age of which the abuse happened. You're dealing with an emotional ass teenager in an adult's body. And while my language may not be seen as professional, this is essentially what it is. And I want to put a message out to that competitor company who stalks individuals. You have had former relations with parachills. Yes, you might want to take that off your profiles. And unless you plan on offering some sort of meal plans for your investigators, which is not essentially a bad idea because, I'll be honest, I've ordered a pizza to help me stay awake during an investigation. I've done that. You might also want to take the lunch menus off your damn website. What do you mean? What do you mean? What would you call them that forget self-care and care much about others? I think they get trapped very often, or I hear this. What would you, hold on. I'm just going to bring up the conversation because this is intended to maybe go into my podcast later, because this is a discussion that really needs to happen. And Drew, I'm going to get to you in a sec. That forget themselves and care so much about others. Unfortunately, the situation when it comes to mental health, there's so many symptoms that belong to so many different conditions. Let's use the term condition. That's why it usually takes a therapist many, many sessions, potentially over years, to truly find out what is going on in someone's head. And that also requires them on their ability to be honest about what's going on, about what their feelings and how they perceive certain events. But I also want to try to offer up some legitimate advice here. Because if you're going to try to assault others, you really need to put together your own image. And this rival company's website actually has a menu for like a bunch of vegan recipes that kind of look a little tasty. And I'm going to say this because I know that they utilize a web service called Wix. It's something I've used before. They likely used a template that they didn't clear everything out of. Whoever's handling their web design really needs to evaluate their skill set. Now, maybe they did clear it out, but they just didn't hit publish. You got to hit publish every time you make changes to a website. And once again, I've also come up and personally said that in your acts of retaliation, the way you constantly repeat certain subjects is like you're trying to convince yourself that these people are the enemy. They're the bad guy. Or this person is the bad guy. You're trying to repeat the same instance over and over. You're only trying to convince yourself. And this is something else that really needs to be addressed, because if you're going to be dealing with paranormal events of any kind, cryptids, ghosts, extraterrestrials, extra dimensionals, what have you, you have got to come in with the clearest mindset possible. Otherwise, there may just be something that tries to take advantage of it and get you hurt, gets the people you're trying to help hurt, and get your loved ones hurt. It also requires you actually knowing what the fuck you're talking about. Which brings me to my next point. There's a lot of fraudulent activity that's been centering in these particular areas. And a lot of it's criminal. Now, I really don't like blowing up. I really don't. But there's situations I've seen where people not stepping back could have ended up getting someone killed. And some of you have also been wondering what's been going on with me, because it seems like, I'm surprised that thing hasn't gone off yet, but I've been going into trances automatically. There's been a lot more activity centered around me. And not too long ago, there was a little bit of a confrontation that resulted in what seemed more like talons and fangs starting to come out. Some spiritual forces we cannot perceive with our physical eyes, we're getting ready to go at it. And this is also what I mean. Sentiments are nice, but quite frankly, you also have a tendency to ignore the full story. Not too long ago, I disclosed that Parachills has made contact with extraterrestrial civilizations. And the contact, it continues to go to this day. Just this morning, as I was on break from work, there was a couple craft. I've started to see things block out the moon, like and suddenly disappear. Now, there's a number of Air Force bases in my area, and they've shot at them, these craft that are coming in. There's a chance I may have children with an extraterrestrial. Some kids who have physically, and did anybody else just see that? Anyway, no one's paying attention. Or chat's really running slow. There's matters of warfare taking place. And people not bothering to get the facts straight are going to end up getting more innocent people hurt. This is why I'm saying this. And you know what? There's probably parts where I need to evaluate my own actions as well. It's understandable. I'm human. There's a path I need to be on, and there's a path to growth that I'm trying to take. Now, as for these messages about certain star systems, don't worry about it, Dakota. It'll be okay. I'm talking about your EMF. Chris, I know it'll be all right. But quite frankly, and I know that ETs will practice that I should let people exercise their free will. But there was also something else that a lot of you don't realize about me. And someone made a comment that they started reading my book, so they started feeling like they've gotten to know me better. And there's a lot of personal information I put in there. But there's also a lot I haven't mentioned because it's too graphic for me to even say on YouTube, on Twitter, Twitch, wherever you're watching this. It is truly too graphic. And some of you have also tried jumping in when you realize that spiritual warfare comes knocking at my door. Because of things that happened to me in life, I honestly cannot shut this off. They seek me out. And you know what? I'm not turning anybody away that needs my help, dead or alive. But there's also comes a point where I need to say, shut up and let me work. When you see me start getting into those trances, I'm still there. Not every little freaky thing is something evil. It's powerful. And I'll admit, it's not fond of some of the people that are in this chat right now. It's not a matter, and that's another thing I wanted to address. It's not a personal attack on any of you. It's just that these things have their own personality and they prefer to work with certain people. Considering your tarot reading said that I was going to have issues with money and women, which wasn't far off, actually. But that means I'm just a typical man. But still, there's things I'm trying to put together. And Chris, if you're watching this, and my God, isn't it like almost, let's see, isn't it like almost 4 a.m. for y'all? What the hell are you doing up? Starseeds. Here's the thing, though, Ravenous. And I'm not saying this to offend anybody. I'm saying this as a genuine observation. A majority of people who are into the paranormal are already screwed up in the head. Okay. And I see a lot of misinformation, mistrust, due to the fact that there is people who try to use certain terms like star seeds, sensitive, mediums. Y'all ain't listening. A lot of the people that try to claim these terms are genuinely lost souls. They're trying to cling on to something because they know they don't really fit in. And now there's a genuine answer to that. I'd say it. But quite frankly, someone wants to talk with you on Saturday. So it will be interesting. He fucking knows where to find me. And I'm starting to feel like I'm hitting a wall, so I'm ending this.